before maps were precise, before GPS and glowing screens, people navigated by melody, memory, and story, songs that marked distance, tales that traced ridge lines. Today, we're exploring navigational skills rooted in history and sound, and asking a simple question: how did people find their way, and can those methods still guide us today? Long before maps and markers, people followed rhythm, memory, and the land itself, using sound, story, and observation to stay found. Today, we're out here on the South Platte River testing those same navigational skills, the ones worth keeping and worth passing on. Do you ever wonder if you could find your way? Especially when this happens. I managed to break this getting out of my truck. Not exactly a heroic end, and now it's useless. It's not even a good paperweight anymore, but it's worth remembering that for most of human history, people have moved across the land without batteries, satellites, or screens. They used memory, pattern, attention, and some cool skills we're going to go over today. The first skill that we're going to go over today is one of the oldest forms of navigation and one of my favorites. So it helps us track distance, location, and it works on our memory. The concept comes from something called songlines, also known as dreaming tracks. These were developed by Aboriginal Australians tens of thousands of years ago, and they weren't just directions scratched into memory. Songlines were actually oral maps used to navigate, to remember, and to actually care for the land because of how the process was done. They carry a history and a mythology older than written language. Maybe not because of how they work, but it's old. And they weren't casual knowledge. Knowing a songline carried a bunch of responsibility. Songlines weren't just songs that you hummed on the trail. They were complete systems of navigation. The lyrics included geography, including mountains, watering holes, rock formations, plants, and even stars if you were traveling at night, all described in sequence. The rhythm and melody carried direction and distance. Verse order mattered. Timing mattered. Because the songs had to be sung correctly to remain valid and keep you going in the right direction, the information stayed accurate across generations. Different language groups could even share the same songlines, each singing their section in their own language, as long as the cadence, pace, and topic was the same. It was a navigational tool that enveloped a law, an ecology, and a culture all woven together. Now, I don't know any traditional songlines myself, and I won't pretend to, because I don't have that kind of memory. The idea behind them fascinated me enough that I made a modern version that works well for me. And here's how I do it. Super simple. First, I measure distance with steps. I count 200 steps, so 100 with my right foot. You can do whatever feels natural to you. But once you hit that number, take a minute, stop, do a 360, look around, see what's around you, see how the trail looks going forward and coming backwards. Look for a bent tree, a boulder, a wash crossing, a strange thing, an oodle, something that will stay there though. And the next step, attach it to something memorable. A good mental image, but make something fun. Make it a bad lyric. Make it a story. Make it something that makes you laugh. The important thing is making sure it's something that sticks in your head. And then move on. Again, 200 steps, stop, do a 360, take a look around, and make another piece of the story. Then it's simple. Once you're done, on the way back, just tell your story in reverse, or as you build it, make sure the timeline works. And because you know that every 200 steps or so, or whatever you pick, you should be able to stop and recognize where you are. If you don't, it's a good warning sign. It means that you've drifted off course a little bit, missed a change, an elevation distance. Something's changed without you realizing it. This method really does three things. It builds your situational awareness, which is great when you're hiking. It slows you down enough to make you notice mistakes. And it gives you a navigational tool that works every time. It's something that you'll remember the next time you do that trail. I've got several for trails I do something all the time. This works memory and distance. Navigation carried to you in your head, not in your pocket. Now that we have the concept, let's take it into practice. Come along, let's see how far we can get and see what story we can make. '95, '96, '97, '98, '99, 100. All right. We take a look around. That's our 360. Now, we make up a story or a limerick or something fun. So for me, I'm gonna pick something easy. We've got a bridge overhead. What a green, ugly troll lives under here who eats snowberries. And now we continue. Now as I get close, I kind of look around and see what would work well. I don't necessarily want to pick a sandbank because that could disappear. Nor do I want to pick a seasonal plant. But maybe a tree with a unique curve or some other feature that won't easily disappear. So, if this is our 100th step, I'm gonna look here. I'm gonna take a look around. I've got my 360, and I like this old stump along with this young tree. So again, another part of my story. We're gonna say this is a grandmother tree watching her young sapling play by the rocks. More stories. And we continue on and just start our count again. Slow and methodical. Here are a couple cool things to keep in mind. Occasionally look back the way you came. These trails don't look the same going up as they do coming down. It also trains your brain to recognize the terrain in both directions, making the return far easier. And my last 100 steps brings me to this awesome rock formation, which I'm going to make a story that says it looks like a dragon with its mouth open. Now I know, if I were to turn around from here or walk a little bit further, as I'd walk every 200 steps, I should be able to tell the same story, a simple story. I pass by the dragon's mouth, and on the way back to my truck, I pass a grandmother tree watching her sapling playing in the rocks, and I have to be careful that I pay the toll to pass under the troll's bridge. And there you have it. Songlines. Simple as that.